Warning. The following podcast contains opinions, jokes, and random thoughts that should absolutely not be taken seriously. We're not experts, professionals, or even mildly qualified to give advice. If you're looking for facts, maybe try Google. This is strictly for laughs, hot takes, and good vibes only. Proceed with caution and a sense of humor. And remember, Bomba'to.
Kiki, do you love me?
Oh, shit.
Señoras y señores.
Para que vea que no soy yo. No soy yo.
Draco, está pegado otra vez. Se salió, revivió del cementerio el
Está
hombre.
pegado de verdad, sí.
Welcome back to Bomba'to.
Those is fake numbers.
Welcome back to Bomba'to Podcast, your favorite podcast, your crazy podcast, the podcast that you love to hate and hate to love.
Wow.
We are here for every tier, and we are here to make you queer. Wow.
No, we're
Wow.
not. No, we're not.
Yes.
No, we are.
Yes, we are.
No, the fuck
Deeply
we are
in
not.
there. Deeply. Elbow deep in there. No lube. I
Hello?
want to wing it in there. That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not busy. What's up?
Yeah, buddy. Here you go. Welcome back to Bomba'to Podcast. This is episode
58.
Yes, energía.
I had to think about it.
58. Welcome,
58.
Welcome back to episode 58.
To make you queer.
Yeah, 58.
El diablo.
58 episodes en las costillas. How's everybody's week? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? ¿Cómo se sienten? ¿Le gusta el clima? ¿No le gusta?
You ever think, like, what if you end up being...
What?
No.
Well, he's talking about making us queer, so, like, that's a good question. You ever thought about in the future, like, yo,
What if I kiss a dude? Some shit like that?
no, like...
Some vaina de la vida, you know.
I don't know. Son preguntas.
Y'all making up for Angel not being here?
¿Verdad? ¿Por
¿Qué?
qué? me-
No, pero...
Son preguntas.
So wait. Your question is, have you ever thought
my God, we
about
gonna get into
being...
My question is, do you ever think about the future? Like, yo, what if you end up being...
You can't.
So like
No,
that
what?
Bad Bunny shit, that quote that he said, like, I don't know, I might like a guy in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was this quote?
Ah, él lo dijo.
Él lo dijo, yo no sé. Él lo dijo.
Yo no lo dije, Bad Bunny fue que lo dijo, yo no fui.
I don't think that works like that. If you gay, and if you
But what if you don't know about it, though?
You think
What do you mean? What if you don't know about it?
Some people don't come out until years later because they
That
didn't
don't
know they were
mean
gay.
They don't know about it. They know about it. They just hiding it. That's called being inside the closet.
Do you think people are scared? They're just afraid to face the truth reality of life?
You think you could get triggered? You think you get triggered to be...
You
What?
I don't know. What is
I
what
feel
is an
like-
experience?
What the
What is it?
Twilight Zone?
Espérate. Let's go down deeper into it. So, you know, right? So, there's a lot of gay people in this world, right?
Yes.
Trans people,
¿Pa dónde
all
va
kinds of
este?
people, right?
Yes.
So you think
¿Para dónde va
they were
este?
born, they decided I like guys when they were born, or do you think that they just, because being a man in this world is hard. You have a lot of responsibilities, you have a lot of shit to put up, you have a lot of stuff on your shoulders. Life is hard for a man.
So instead you want to take a dick in the ass?
So you're saying that a way out of the difficulty of life is just be...
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because
I really don't think that's
pero
how that works.
espérate,
Oh my God.
because they acting all like feminine and stuff, so you can.
But not all gay men act feminine.
There's
There's the gay men that are the burly, like,
good point. man.
fucking
The broad...
in the wood and all that.
You got me there. That's a good point. All right, never
So
mind.
no,
Moving on.
I don't think you choose to be. I think you're born the way you're born, and that's it.
You think there's the amount of gay people is because they didn't have a very tough father figure in their life?
I don't believe that either.
No.
I think if you're you just
If you're gay out there, you want to just educate us, please feel free.
Yeah, feel free. Leave it in the comments. Like when did you decide that you were?
Or when did you come out?
Yeah, when did you come out? Like,
again,
were you-
Isn't
think
it-
it's
is it-
when
is
you
it an
decided.
itch?
we need to have statistics. Like, do you have a father?
Is it an itch where, like, I might be...
They would know. I'm assuming because just like how a straight person feels attracted to the opposite sex.
Bésalo.
A question for you guys: when did you know you were straight?
Kindergarten.
Yeah, the first time I saw that girl in kindergarten, not even kindergarten, it was pre-K, bro.
Yeah.
For me, it was kindergarten. No, I lied. It was in DR. There was the next door neighbor. We used to play Ale con Dia. And one day La Luz se fue.
Tú,
started
I'm
kissing.
not the only one playing those games. I'm not the only one.
Espérate.
No, no.
Tú estabas jugando la secundaria, ¿verdad?
No.
Y se fue la luz. Estaba oscuro. What if it was a boy you were kissing?
Nah, it was a girl.
How do you know?
No había luz, estaba oscuro.
We were together when it happened.
What if it was? What if you were wearing a wig or something?
Nah. Trust me. Trust me. It was not.
It was not. You checked it. You checked the source. You checked the source code.
Yes.
It was legit.
Yes.
It was not a spam. It was not a virus.
It was not.
It was
It's just-
legit.
It was
Just an honest question. I'm just curious.
No, but like, it's the same way for
You guys
gay
shake
people,
your
like,
ass.
What?
I don't.
Do you what?
Bro.
So going back to what Angel said back a few episodes ago, like you remember when you take a shit and it smears over your booty hole, right, and your ass crack, and if you have hair, it's more difficult to clean yourself.
What
So they
wipes?
say, yeah, exactly, right.
What
but then, see, if you shave your ass, right, there's no hairs to be stuck.
Yeah, but then like imagine the hair growing
That should
back.
be itchy as
Exactly, like the hair growing back and you sitting
We
down.
need an angel for balance because de todo.
no, es que yo soy. Si me dejan solo.
Why? I would think that without having any hair, all you would have is just sweaty ass cheeks.
Are you?
Sweaty ass.
Facts, bro. Because like you ever just shave your pubes and just like it itches when it goes back.
Bro, that was the worst.
Like imagine on your ass.
That's the worst mistake
depends
to
how you
make
do it.
during
I
the summertime.
Depends how you do
If
it.
you wax, it comes back thinner, right?
You wax?
No, I'm saying
Oh.
if you wax, it comes back thinner, right?
Would you wax your ass? Would you get a Brazilian wax in your ass crack?
No.
Me neither.
Would you bleach?
Nah.
Bleach.
Yeah, because your asshole is too dark. You want a little lighter. You bleach.
How the f do you even know that?
I was just about to.
What do you mean?
How do you know your butthole's
I
dark?
was about to ask.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look it in the mirror. I don't know. I don't fucking know. You look it in the mirror.
Damn.
Yeah, like
This man's popping a squat, sweating his cheeks in front of the mirror.
yeah, you're like, yo, that's a little dark right there.
That's crazy.
That's like under the bed right there. That's dark.
What
That's
the-
dark. Man.
Imagine you feeling insecure of a dark butthole.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's shit out there.
Imagine
As a man, though,
imagine.
would you feel insecure if you had a
Nah. But imagine
even
you hit a girl from the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got like those like dark like lines on her ass cheeks, like her ass is darker. in the
Tiger
middle.
stripes?
Yeah, like in the is it tiger stripes? I don't know if they call that shit.
Like
Like-
it's
like-
a little darker.
In the middle. Yeah.
I don't really care.
Nah,
Would that bother
I thought
you?
you were talking about like stretch marks.
Nah, who gives a about stretch marks?
No, but I'm talking to hit the darker, so I was like, oh, tiger stripes.
You know what?
Yo, pero ¿qué es lo que estamos hablando?
I don't know.
Fuiste tú.
You know what's one thing that I've never understood is like when a guy comments on a female's body. You know, like when a girl has like the little, not a fupa, but that
A little
little
belly?
the
Little
little belly,
pouch.
little pouch.
Little
And they,
kangaroo pouch.
yeah, and they be out here talking about like, oh, that's disgusting. I'm like, bro, that's a
That's
beautiful
a man that
woman.
ain't got no pussy. Yeah.
That's a beautiful
9
woman.
times
right
out of
there.
10. 9 times out of 10. Ah,
Man.
I'm
oh, le
like,
gusta otra cosa.
I'm like, bro, a me gusta gordita, flaca, mediana, de todo tipo.
Eso porque tú no eres gay.
Y se sabe.
No, tú eres un hombre comprometido. Tú no puedes estar diciendo.
No, pero,
No,
estoy-
no, ajá,
pero
eso
estoy
no es-
diciendo.
Es un hombre. Oh,
La
y
mu-
porque sea comprometido no significa que tiene que ser
las mujeres son bonitas en cualquier manera que ella tenga.
gay. Es verdad, yo lo apoyo.
Es verdad.
Oh,
Wilson.
Me no, papi, me no. Me no.
Oh,
Have you guys been with an Asian woman?
with an Asian?
nah.
No.
Filipino?
Yes.
That's Asian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been with a Asian?
A Filipino.
Oh no, I've never been with an Asian.
I never been with Asian either.
That way.
What's that side of the world taste like?
Sour.
Like a
I
woman.
don't know.
Like pork fried rice.
Yo. Maldito diablo. Bueno, señor.
You know what? You know what? We haven't gotten canceled yet, so at this point.
Bueno, if we haven't gotten this,
Is
might
pork
be
fried
it.
rice even Asian or is it just an American?
No, it's
Nah, it's American.
It's American. That's why it's an Americanized Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaina de la vida, cosa del pasado.
Verdad.
¿Qué pasó?
I was thinking.
Pero espérate.
Dale.
How's everybody's week? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? No, you know about it.
Love a 4-day week.
It's been an interesting one.
It's been
With the 4 days?
Nigga.
It's only 4 days.
Nigga.
3 days, really.
Oh, yeah. I'm already counting Friday.
Let's just put it like this. I told Millie.
votaron?
No.
Oh.
I told Millie earlier today when she got home, I was like, bro, if it wasn't because I have responsibilities and I have you and Emmy, I would have literally left my laptop on my desk, got up, and walked the fuck out.
Pero
Oh,
¿por
you could-
qué?
hey.
¿Por qué?
So my company, the previous CEO decided, because they were fully remote at one point, decided at one point to make everybody come back to the office. And a lot of people had, moved, didn't live in New Jersey anymore. And they let go of a good amount of people that had like a lot of the knowledge that you needed to do the job. And now the company is very siloed. So like every department only works within their department. So there's no cross-functional
Cross-contamination.
between the departments. So it makes the job a lot harder, especially for somebody that hasn't been there long enough. And then when hits the fan, you get blamed when it goes wrong.
But wouldn't it be better that way? Because, I mean, in a way, the way I look at it, right? So if I'm working in a department and, I don't want another department's input. I want...
No, it's not input. It's more the cross-functional, like, working together. Because a lot of the stuff that we do depends on different departments bringing in their portion of it. So, for example, today, a manager from a different department hit me up and they were like, we needed XYZ done, and it needed to be done by March. And I'm like, bro, nobody told me that this needed to be done by March. If I knew that, I would have did it by March. And the shit
communication.
Yeah, and the shit that pissed me off was that they CC'd my boss in it to throw me under the bus.
I hate those emails, bro.
And I'm like, you fucking bitch. And I told my boss, I was like, bro, that has nothing to do with me because I didn't know that this needed to be done at this point. And my boss, luckily, she's cool as she was like, don't worry about it.
See, that's good. Don't worry about it.
No, but it's like, it just bothers me like when people try to throw you under the bus because they lack communication.
Yeah, definitely hate that. It happens, even happens in my job. It happens everywhere, like there's
Not like this place though.
Nah, yeah, there's levels to everything, of course, but like, like there's stuff like in my job, like, because of the lack of communication, there's stuff that doesn't get done, and then we're like looking at each other like the Spider-Man meme, like you like you were supposed to do that. No, you were supposed to do that, and people get blamed for it. But
I feel like that's all jobs. They all have some form of that.
I ain't gonna lie, I miss my previous job where I just worked remotely, didn't have to interact with anybody, work my own schedule.
Pero ¿qué pasó?
vámonos para Six Flags.
El dinero.
Tú con el maldito dinero, tú ves.
It was that, and also the fact that there was really no upward mobility.
Mobility.
Hey, you're not in an interview right now? You're not in an interview right now?
Like if they would have had some kind of way where I could move up within the company, I would have stayed.
They move up. What do you mean? You had a goal in mind, and
Weren't you making more money? Weren't you making more money in the other job?
Yes,
Entonces,
but there was no upward mobility. Like,
pero that was more money.
I would have been stuck at the same rate.
So okay, pero espérate. So let's break that down, right? So you were making more money in the other job, and then you got to this new job that you're making the same, less, or more?
Less.
You're making less. So see. But in this job, you have the ability to move up and make more. Potentially. Right? Okay. So you did it for what it could be.
So I did it more for the experience because of the type of work that I would be doing, because my mindset was to either work my way into a project management role or a product management role. So that was my idea.
So this is more for experience.
Pretty much.
Pues entonces, eso es parte de la experiencia. Getting blamed a little bit. So no.
Yeah, you know.
Lucky for you, you got a cool boss.
Yeah, imagine if you had an asshole. That'd be worse.
Nah, but I know that. Well, the company they're reluctant to well, not reluctant, but they're gun ho of letting people go easily.
Yeah, but I feel like that's especially with like a lot of jobs right now. I feel like even my company, like a lot of people go.
Well, now with how companies have realized that AI is costing them more money than keeping actual humans doing the job, they're deciding to hire the people back.
That's what I'm
really?
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
qué interesante.
yeah, because like okay, AI is good and everything, but it's only as good as right now anyway. Like it's only as good as the input that you give it. Like you cannot like
Create its own things.
Yeah, think for itself. Like realize, like for example, like for my job, it would be very difficult to use AI because you have to do a lot of like reasoning and like, hey, like no, this is wrong. Yo, you have to look over here to find this information. You have to no, you can't do this because you have to do this first. And it's like a lot of like,
And it's expensive.
yeah, it's very expensive for sure. So, but AI, like I use ChatGPT and Claude and Grok and all that shit. So, but it's only as good as the input that you give. You have to be very specific to what you're asking, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of prompts to get what you really want. So it's not there yet. It will be. It will be. You know what I mean?
Do you really think that we're gonna like keep going with this AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they will, but it's just gonna. I mean, Meta has been laying off people left and right for their AI division,
But here's the thing: like even schools are realizing, like, yo, AI can't teach.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
yeah, it could be an addition.
They're starting to pull back a little bit, especially the ones that went like gun ho for AI everything. Starting to pull back a little bit, like, okay.
How do you use AI? How do you replace teachers with AI?
You make the AI, you train the AI to teach the students. So
like on the screen, you do what? So you're pretty much having like somebody just click a button and have AI turned on.
Have conversations with a robot, and you know.
It's a model. It's a model. You train it. You train the model, and they know like, hey, this is the way.
I want to take that serious as a student. I wouldn't take that serious at all.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think some of those schools are starting to realize that, and it hasn't been everyone in the ass yet.
Because think about it, you put anything on a projector screen, whatever, in the classroom, and the kids immediately. For me, for example, my head would just hit the desk immediately. And I'll be out.
I wouldn't even.
Nah, it wouldn't even be like on the projector screen. It'd be like 1-on-1. So like it's tailored to you, the student.
Then what would be the
like on a computer type of shit?
Yeah, like on a computer.
No, what would be the point of me like physically going to school? Like if I could do it on the computer.
That's the thing. They try to do it for especially like subjects like world language. Is where I've seen most of it, and like home instruction sometimes también. And it's just
see. I can see that being good. Like if you homeschool your kid.
And even then, bro, like ain't nobody gonna teach your kid better than you can. Like you can use AI to supplement what you're teaching your kid. But I wouldn't like give it free reins to.
Nah.
Would you in the state that we're in, educational wise, would you prefer to homeschool your kid?
Yeah.
You as being
a teacher here in this state?
Yeah.
Nah, I can't. Fuck no, I can't teach.
No, we
No,
have
not
one,
you,
we
but
are
you-
one of the,
No, but I'm saying like for a parent, like let's say
Like
for a parent-
homeschooling, you're the instructor, or you have somebody being the instructor.
No, I was saying like you be the.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
I'll hire somebody.
I can't do that.
I'll hire somebody. Nah, I'm saying.
Oh, you're tired? Oh, no worry. Go to bed.
Nah, I'm not.
honestly,
I'm the worst
this
teacher.
is one of the best states for education. I do, have
It is.
in our education system, at least for here. Can it be better? Absolutely. There's always things you can improve on. Like we're not the best in the world by far. There's a lot of shit that federally needs to get changed and like cleared out instead of the monotony of federal government and
Monotony.
monotony.
Not my knee.
Nah, but it's all the government of like, it has to pass through this and pass through that, and it's really not. I feel like we're not an education centered country right now. All that
Pero mi hijo,
fucking.
¿Por qué es lo que tú estás haciendo allá?
I'm not doing nothing.
Dios.
I'm not doing nothing.
Okay.
Dios mío. Pero
I didn't realize, like, I heard the squeaking, and I'm
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
I keep-
No,
I
está bien.
thought it was over here.
I heard that like, dum dum.
No, está bien, está bien.
But yeah, no. Se me olvidó lo que estaba hablando.
Hey, government funded.
Monotony.
Monotony.
Hey, monotony, you better come here.
That sounds like
We've moved away from a lot of the stuff that made us so good in the education field, like teaching phonics and reading skills.
What the fuck is phonics?
How to sound out words.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Apple.
you never heard of Hooked on Phonics?
Nah.
Too
Constipated.
young for that, bro.
Constipated.
Hooked on
It was
phonics?
around when he was. Yeah, it
Hooked on
was.
phonics? The fuck?
That's
Lingo.
That's some 80s
You
shit.
didn't have ABC Mouse or any of that shit?
Who?
ABC Mouse or any of that shit?
Papá, te estoy diciendo, tú no me crees.
Pero ABC Mouse is around his
He
age.
was in the cutoff.
What is it?
cutoff.
ABC
He
Mouse?
So what did you use to learn
Cursive? A little bit in fourth grade.
Did
In
you-
fourth
did
grade.
you-
Cutoff, bro.
So how did you learn how to pronounce words?
By
in school?
pronouncing them?
No, in school, like
I don't remember what I ate yesterday, bro. I don't know what I did in school.
Tipo salió del womb pronouncing. Tipo salió del womb pronouncing.
No, pero that's the thing, right? We've moved away from that type of teaching,
Throwing up gang signs.
and we've
everything.
realized now with all the fucked up test scores that we have as a nation, like our kids are so behind nationally speaking compared to other.
Are they though? Because
countries.
they're making money out here. bro.
Nah, that's the thing though, right? Because we such a capitalistic fucking country.
So, like, what do you got?
It's your the education system here was being controlled by people in suits to make money and testing and all this, instead of it being controlled by actual teachers who know what the fuck they're talking about because they went to school for that.
It's fucked up
rather than
when
business.
you got people here. Not every major out there, but you got some people that, let's say, study social work and they get the masters or whatever, and you have somebody like any trade, welder, HVAC tech, electrician, making 10 times more than they are. And like that discrepancy there, like that. And again, it's not all areas of study.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot, right? Like that big discrepancy, like a lot of like trade, like a lot of like useful trade, like people like that never been to. I mean, they've been to a trade school, but that's about it. 2 years, I think it is. What it is, right?
depending on the trade.
Right. So like making $200,000, $300,000,
And it's not. And correct me if I'm wrong. I might be putting words in your mouth, but it's not that.
Yo.
Put it, baby.
Those trades can't make that amount of money. It's just it needs to be a more balanced approach when it comes to the people that are actually educating or actually caring for the sick, like the nurses, the doctors, all that shit. It just has to be a little bit more balanced.
Doctors that's a bad one.
Well, no,
Because doctors make way more.
yeah, but they have to go into a lot of debt to become that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
but
I
they
mean.
can
like,
they can recoup that quickly, depending on what type of doctor you are.
Yeah, but still.
Depending on what type of doctor you are.
Because even like, let's say if you're a psychologist, right? You need to get your master's or PhD in order to have your own
you gotta
practice.
get your for your own practice.
Yeah, right. So like that's the only way you can really make money as a psychologist, right?
No.
Because otherwise you're pretty much stuck. So stuff like that, like like when you got an HVAC guy or fucking a plumber or a carpenter
Or an athlete.
yeah.
Bro, if you really got people taking care of like the future of the country, I think that should be reflected in your pay, because that is a big responsibility of you having.
But the problem is unless you're in a private school, like how do you fund something that's government based? like these public schools are all government based,
Yeah.
and the government is not going to share the money like that.
How do we fund all these wars that we want no part of?
Well,
We want that oil.
the homie,
The America.
the homie Madani is doing it in New York,
Yeah, he's taxing the rich.
and he's bringing in more teachers, paying them a lot more. I'm saying like,
And, you know,
But
actually,
it's all a chain reaction though, because
it's interesting. Sorry to cut you off, but have y'all seen the Jeff Bezos interview where he said he was talking about nurses?
oh, he's
and
backtracking
teachers?
now.
Yeah, you seen that? I think that's a little funny.
How is it? Well, I saw the interview. How is he backtracking? What did he say?
Because his thought process originally was, well, morely for his company.
You said I'll pay. I know the original interview. I said I'll pay more taxes, but you just got to make sure that the nurse in Queens makes pays no taxes or makes X amount or whatever it is.
So a lot of people, they're saying like, you aren't paying your workers their fair share.
Because he's anti-union and doesn't allow.
I
Amazon
mean,
workers
I worked for
to
Amazon,
unionize.
so I know how much their managers make. They make a shit ton of money.
Exactly. Versus a line worker.
Even I started as a regular fucking I worked at a warehouse, and I just used to pick orders, just pick the packages and put them in a cage and take them to like the packaging station, put them in boxes and get them shipped out. Pero oh Dios.
I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm trying here.
Tú tienes que ir al baño.
I'm trying. No,
Tú
I'm
tienes
just
que ir
trying
al
to get
baño.
comfortable.
El baño está ahí.
That's it.
Está mismo.
He got hairs in his
But,
mouth. Tickling him.
No, but I used to work at Amazon, and I used to be like an order picker, and I used to pick orders and stuff like that, and
What picker?
an order picker.
Okay.
Yeah, be careful, muchacho.
I didn't say, but no, I
order
escuché
picker.
bien.
Yeah, yo te lo pico también.
No, hey.
Yeah, so I used to be an order picker, and when I used to work at Amazon, then like for when I started, like that was a pretty good wage for just picking up orders and packages. That was like I was getting paid like $14-15 an hour.
But how long?
How long was that?
That was I don't know. It was
You gotta act like that.
shit. I mean,
Now he's thinking back.
I mean, so
It was during around the time you were
2014.
your associate degree, right?
yeah, so it was like I graduated 2018, 2017. So what, like 8-10 years ago? So I don't know what it is now, but I know like back then, like the managers, like they would go like hunt like a lot of like these people. It didn't matter what type of degree you got. It could be any freaking degree. As long as you got a bachelor's degree, you can be hired as a manager. They were getting people right out of college, and they were giving them like stock options.
So they make about $18 to $22, depending on the location, shift, and facility.
Yeah. So like I was in a facility where all the heavy was like people were ordering fucking like
Mad size.
yeah, or like 30 like 50-pound bags of rice and like like heavy stuff, like heavy duty. And I used to put it in my cage and throw the orders in there. So like and los manager, like they would get stock options like right out of college. Like I know this guy, one of the managers, like he met the time limit to where he can sell some of his shares, some of his stock options, and he bought his house and out of his stock options. So like, could they be making more? I mean, it's I got in the best shape of my life working for Amazon.
I bet.
Because it was not easy.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot. I mean,
It was not easy.
It was a heavy, so
that makes
but
sense. For what I was doing, I was working 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts, and I was working overnight.
I have a couple of buddies who either previously worked or are currently working, and conversations I've had with them is not they don't have the same sentiment as you do of like getting paid well. So I think the timing of it is a big factor también, because you got to think
everything's more expensive now.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think their salaries haven't reflected the
inflation
change.
Yeah. I get that. I can get that.
That's probably where the current workers are coming from. Would be my guess. Again, no es que yo.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Because everything's more expensive now. Like I remember it's funny. My coworker sent me a picture of it. He was filling up his truck in the morning today, and it was $110.
Bro,
to fill up his truck.
Loco, ahora que tú dices así, I put gas today at Costco. I had half a tank. That shit was $41.
I don't even look anymore.
Bro,
I don't look.
half a tank?
I don't need that, bro. Mine's was almost pretty much the same. 40. Mine's came out to like 43.
Half a tank?
Mm-hmm.
My shit was empty. My shit was empty. I mean, you see how small my car is. $60.
How much?
60.
Well, I used to have the same car.
I filled mine up.
My shit was Costco, to be fair.
Oh yeah,
Nah, but like
$20,
like
100%.
like going back in the conversation. It's hard to have
Good
the
lease deals now.
Well, you had to wait how long to fill that shit up?
Nah, literally when I went to Wawa and came back, I was like, all right. I just ate my sandwich, and by the time I'm done.
At my job, they have the.
I can charge it at home. By the time I get up in the morning, it's ready to go. Just chill.
but going back to the conversation,
it's not all pretty. It's not like the bad, but
Tragic.
but it's a lot of money, bro. It's just expensive nowadays.
yeah. But segueing back to the conversation, it's kind of hard to tell how to tell a company or a business person how to spend their money.
Yeah, no,
it's hard.
Yeah.
Like even with baseball. Like imagine trying to have a discussion on how much you can make money, how much money you can make. Imagine trying to we're gonna set you at a cap where you cannot make any more money than that.
That's what the owner's trying to do. They're trying to put a fucking cap.
Cap it.
But bro, they make so much fucking money, bro. It's fucking ridiculous. Just the TV deal alone.
But I feel like baseball, you can't say that with baseball because it's regional.
No, but like
As
the
MLB,
overall,
like the league, they make a lot of fucking.
Like the shit, the new one that they just made with ESPN, they made a shit ton of money.
And they have revenue sharing.
The NBC,
Yeah.
The NBC one is high as shit.
Bro, they make a. Hold on. Before you continue.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a viable business, all the owners would be selling their teams. That's the way I'll put it. So they're making money. Because if not, they would have jumped ship a long time ago. Don't you think?
They're making money for sure.
They're making money. They're just trying to be a little bit more greedy, maybe. And
I don't really.
That's okay. Porque ellos son los dueños.
I don't really care for a cap. I care more about a floor. I want more competitive teams.
So look at this.
But the thing about it like this, I saw, what was it, like the teams are first place right now, like the Rays, the Milwaukee, I think the A's were in first, but now I think they're in second. Their salary, like their payroll, is less than $100 million.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So when a few years from now, all the players are gonna go because they can't afford to pay them, or they don't want to pay them, and they're gonna go to big.
But somehow the Rays always find a way to.
They always have the best farm system.
Yeah.
That's the way they found out.
It's like that's gonna be their argument. As like in a way, it's like you don't have to spend money to have a good team.
Yeah, no.
But that's okay. But to be fair,
that's gonna be their argument.
You're gonna have to have a good farm system.
How many years in the last 10 years? How many years have the Rays made it to the postseason?
That's true.
They've been
in the
there
last 10 years, how many years of those has the Yankees made it to the postseason? And compare how much they spend. Either Puebla.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, you can have a good farm system and you can have good scouts and you can have good everything and you don't have to spend that much money. Yeah, you're gonna be a pretty good team, but for you to make it into October, you're gonna have to fucking spend money.
Yeah.
But do owners care about October?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
that's where the money is.
We know the Dodgers do. They care. They care about
the Mets. Unfortunately, they haven't made it.
If you're getting a good constant money coming in like that and you're not spending that much money, do you care if you make October?
You know what? And that's the whole point of having a salary floor, because that's why the Pittsburgh Pirates don't spend shit. That's why the Tampa Bay Rays don't spend shit. That's why the fucking White Sox don't spend shit, because they're still making hella money no matter if they make it into the postseason or not.
Yeah.
And that's not fair.
Nah.
Because then you're fucking up your fan base.
That would be like, if you don't make the postseason, you get 40%.
Well,
less.
who's that?
Tú ves, ahí, y te apuesto que se gasta dinero.
Well, you're talking about fairness, but fairness to who?
To the
To the fans.
Bro,
They're the ones spending our money.
There's been games that I've watched, and I kid you not, there's been times where I've seen the stadiums, you see probably less than 10,000 people.
But these talks aren't about the fans. These talks about the players and the owners.
Yes, but the players want it because they know that the fans are the ones that
the players don't care about the fans, bro. They don't care. They don't care.
I mean,
the players don't care about
the players.
Stop it.
The players will never agree to a salary cap, but then the owners won't agree to a freaking salary floor because of the argument with the raise and stuff like that. You don't need to spend money to have a good team. So it's like they're in a standstill.
My thing is like when you have a product like a sports association, NBA, football, baseball, you want to put out the best product that you can. And if you have these owners that are
You as a fan. You as a fan, because you as an owner, as long as you're making money.
As long as you're making money. Pero when you have these money-hungry owners,
How much money is
that they care more about the money than actually putting out a good product, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna have less fans coming out to see the games. You're gonna start losing money. And what's gonna happen to the whole entire league? Because baseball, as of right now, this has been, I would say, their come up. Because baseball of previous years, it was literally
they're good right now.
Literally the worst sport in America.
But what?
Not the worst sport, but the least watched.
He's not wrong.
That's
But
true.
why is
Better
that?
now.
Why is that happening? Why is the up and up happening right now? Porque los Dodgers se pusieron a gastar cuarto, están haciendo un maldito super team, los Yankees hicieron lo mismo, los Mets tienen un tollo, pero gastan 400 millones.
Ay, gastan 400. Buen 400.
Yeah, but it's crazy though, because
Gástalo
like
tú los 400. Gástalo tú.
No, es verdad, gastan su dinero. De que hicieron un maldito tollo, es verdad. Pero gastan su dinero. Entonces,
It's
as
tough.
a fan, you can't say that as a fan, the Dodgers are not an interesting team.
no, but
As a Yankees fan,
You know what?
the Dodgers are an interesting team.
not-
I love seeing that all these fucking great players, even though
I
I
don't-
fucking hate them in October.
As long as
But it's the truth. You can't say that it's not interesting to watch.
okay, we gotta find the right balance. The Dodgers, their formula is
No,
gonna buy.
that's OD.
No, yeah. I'm gonna buy everybody. I'm gonna build the best team around because I'm gonna buy everybody.
Yankees in the 90s,
You know, so like now you gotta find the balance. So like, okay, I'm gonna put a very competitive team, but also strike the balance of like I'm not gonna be overexpanding. So that's the balance.
You gotta find that chess. It's a game of chess, really. Of spending and having a great product, but also not overspending.
And we need to stop. I mean, shit, bro. Like,
Say what's on your mind, brother.
this analytics bullshit and people.
I agree.
Y todo está maldito de que launch angles. Everybody's hitting. This dude's hitting 220 with freaking 30 homers, and you're like, bro, like 150 strikeouts.
Yo, honestly,
Bro, like, yeah, like, we need to stop it.
Let's be
We need
honest.
to hit for contact.
Let's be honest.
Contact.
If we had teams, because I can't say that half the teams in the league right now are good.
dude, half the team, bro, in the American League, 4 teams are over 500.
Mi punto exacto.
The American League.
Imagínate que
es una
15 de los 30 equipos tengan above 500. Wouldn't you want to watch baseball? As a fan?
Everybody's even.
Is what?
Everybody's even at that point. What do you?
Well,
vaina. There's always gonna be somebody
would
that's
you
gonna be
not
better.
want to watch?
They'll be more
'Cause your
competitive.
team, the shit's gonna be competitive.
Yeah, it'll be like the best. It's
The
like
scores are actually
it's
gonna
like-
matter because there's 15 teams on your ass.
it's like what they say. Iron sharpens iron. So you need to be
Yes.
you be put to the
It's
test.
gonna make a more interesting season, a more interesting September for damn
Yes, but
short, and
that's-
a more interesting October.
Yes,
That's right.
for the end of the season, for September and October, because it's the same discussion with NBA.
be
It's the
interesting.
same discussion with NBA and
It'll be
NHL.
interesting the whole
Te lo
season.
voy a decir. Back in the late 90s, when the Yankees were in their peak,
Diablo.
when they were
Missed those days. I was in the womb.
Al
When-
Capone.
Actually, I was in the sack.
and you literally, and that division alone
Wow.
was always down to the last fucking minute.
Yeah, towards the end.
No. Throughout the whole season.
No, like locked in the whole
It
season.
was locked in.
It was a dead race.
Because you had the Yankees, the Red Sox, even though they weren't the best team, they were
Competitive
always
enough
competitive.
to yeah.
You had the Orioles that were always
Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
there to either upset the Yankees in some kind of way or ruin them winning that division. Tampa Bay,
They had their moments.
they had
Yeah,
them.
But that's
that makes for interesting.
But that's the difference between sports back then and sports now. Nobody now this age cares about the regular season.
Yeah,
And NBA.
Why is that? But why is that?
Because everybody just get me to October. Get me to the postseason.
No, right now
It's a discussion in MLB, a discussion in NBA, and a discussion in NHL.
in MLB,
Football's different because there's two short games.
No. In MLB,
the season's too short.
I feel is because there's not enough competitive teams. So you know right off the bat who the good teams are. Los Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, Houston.
Yeah, that's why.
What I mean?
and then you
Atlanta
get,
Braves.
and then you get those one or two
Yeah.
teams
Yeah,
that
and then
sneak
you
in.
find yourself rooting for them at the end of this fucking season because you're like, yo, you guys are playing these big ass teams. Go ahead.
That's why you put the Yankees and the Dodgers on prime time, on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
That's why you put, the Yankees and Red Sox on prime time, because they're gonna be competitive. It's gonna be a good game. That's why you put freaking the Rockies and the A's, and fucking ni lo ponen.
Exactamente.
Here's that
Like,
shit
when
in
was
the
the last
radio.
You
time
gotta have
seen no
MLB TV
Rockies?
for you to watch that shit.
Yeah, like, put that shit in the radio. Si quiere.
Loco, in the
tú
off
quieres.
Smoke
season,
signal that
in the
bitch.
off season, they made like 2 posts on the MLB account of the Rockies and like 500 posts for Shohei Ohtani's dog.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Loco, dime.
el perro de ellos tiene más
Dime,
fama.
el perro es más importante que un maldito equipo.
Claro.
Claro que sí.
Depende del perro, Dios.
No, depende del perro, no. Depende del maldito equipo. Que esa gente no tienen. Who can you name on the Rockies right now? Go.
Doyle.
You play MLB the show. Shut the hell
No.
up.
Yeah.
Goodman.
Goodman.
Freeland.
He's just making up names at these
No.
points.
Yeah. You just naming white people last name.
Yeah.
You just name.
He's their catcher.
I play in that stadium all the time, though.
I do too. That's best fucking stadium to play in.
Yeah, I bet 'cause the ball
but,
flies.
it's a nice stadium shit, but
And those gaps. Woo.
pero mira,
Yeah.
la misma vaina con like with the NBA has having that issue because this season I haven't watched one NBA game
Bro,
at all.
Lo que dañó the NBA is that fucking
flopping.
No, not even that. The fucking what's this shit called? The load management or
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
game management or whatever.
Load
the fuck.
management.
Oh, where's it like the max amount of minutes that you can
No.
like,
They
but
that
rest the players a lot.
they rest the
their starting
players.
a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like I was saying, it's one of those things like just get me to the postseason. We know we're a good enough team that we're gonna make the postseason. So we're just gonna not prevent, but like we're just gonna make sure we get there with everybody healthy.
Right there, what you just said.
What?
Go back to what you just said. We know we're a good enough team. We're gonna get to the postseason.
Yeah, so that as a
You know when that happens?
Because you
You
can
know
beat
when that
everybody
happens?
else.
When there's only a handful of good teams.
I mean, yeah, but like
No, ningún but if it was more competitive, if we had a floor and like the A's, the A's, the White Sox, the Rockies were spending 170
The
million.
Pirates.
The Pirates, shit would be a lot more competitive.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
bro.
'cause I-
and you're not gonna have that handful of good teams because there's gonna be those sneaky teams.
I get it. I get what he's saying because not every day is gonna be a win. Is not gonna be a lock every day. Because now you can't say I'm going against the Pirates. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna rest my best players. I'm gonna win this
Los
game.
Piratas tienen a
You know,
fulano.
yeah.
Espérate, hay que tener
Oh,
cuidado.
shit. Pirates
Oh.
are like 15 games above 500.
They're gritty. They're a gritty team.
You
They
know.
steal them wins. Espérate.
And not even that. Like even when you did have those like not so good teams, they were still competitive.
Yeah.
Es que de antes también, eso también tiene que ver con un poquito con el juego. Now, I'll give you that.
Ese es el maldito analítico que no tienes alto.
No, es que ahora es the long ball game.
Quémelo,
instead
quémelo.
of the contact game.
Quémelo a todito. That's why you got like people striking out 200 times. Stupid.
Exactly.
I seen
Like fucking look at fucking Albert Pujols season. Like, I think when his MVP season, I think it was about like 315, like a whole bunch of like 30 or 40 homers, 100 and some RBIs. I think he struck out less than 100 times.
just letting you know that there'll probably be very few players to hit.
Match those numbers.
No, yeah.
Not
I'm
even that.
not
to
getting
just,
near those
just to bat 300 throughout the season.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
'cause-
think the game will change back to being contact.
Nah.
I honestly,
You know,
I do think
you know what's
so.
messed up? Because like it's messed up, right? Because like I feel like they worry about all these launch angles and hitting homers, right? Regular season, but then when the postseason comes in, like, oh shit, we gotta get on base. Yeah, we gotta get on base no matter what.
Situational hitting.
Yeah, it's stealing base.
That's why
Exactly.
That's when the freaking game becomes
That's why I call the
Fly is
Yankees
underrated,
bunting,
The
bro.
bunting.
Bro, you can't.
I call
Esta gente ni
El
bontea.
tipo de Tampa Bay
They were bunting and they didn't.
Bro.
The defense didn't know what the fuck to do.
That's why I call the Yankees fucking glorified stat collectors. Because that's all they do.
Yeah.
They're good at collecting stats throughout the season, but when it comes to the real deal,
Yeah, like
they don't know.
Yeah, like that's why I like Juan Soto in a way. Because yeah, he gets you homers, but when the
When it's
time to get on base,
He'll get
I'm
on base.
gonna get on base. I'm gonna either get a walk, I'm gonna get a hit, I'm gonna do
He's
something.
gonna find a way.
I'm gonna do something to get on
When
base.
was the last time you saw a hit and run?
Yes.
Espérate, loco.
Now they're worried, and they even made it easier because now you can only throw and to first base twice. So they made it even freaking easier.
Mm-hmm.
The only team.
It's just like you're giving them all these people these freaking facilidad. They're making it easy, making the game easier for them, and they're just doing less and less, and they just worry about hitting homers. Bro, Chisholm should not be hitting fucking homers, bro.
Nah. He's a speed guy.
Yeah, like he should be hitting for contact, getting hits, getting on base, and stealing bases.
I agree 100%.
Like get them up.
Until we have, because it's the Moneyball thing, right? Bro. Moneyball worked, the launch angles, the analytics, blah blah blah.
Bro,
it was the conversation of AI before. Cuando llega algo nuevo, uno se mete hasta el full porque eso dio resultado. Eso es. And then once everyone's doing the same shit, you're like, espérate. Eso no es, ¿no? Eso no es.
Yeah,
Desde que no, hasta que no haya un equipo que gane un World Series con par de tigres que den for contact.
Speed.
No se va a cambiar el juego.
Like a balance, just contact and just get on base, stealing base.
Team that wins back to back or two in 3 years with contact, then we'll see the change go back.
Bro,
that's what it is.
Esta vaina tiene unos altos, man. Unos altos, netamente.
I will say, baseball's a lot more boring than it was in the 90s.
It's for sure.
In the early 2000s.
And also, they don't have that competitive nature like how they used to back in the day.
They need to let them fight again.
Like,
que se trayen in home place, se den no trompa.
Like, know how exciting it used to be watching the Red Sox versus the Yankees play? Knowing that there would be some type of
somebody's gonna get
drama.
Hit. Bro, somebody's gonna get hit.
I remember the game where fucking Pedro fucking flung.
I was just thinking about
it. I remember that fucking game. It was a Saturday game. It was 4:00 game. And I was watching that shit, and I'm over here just like, oh shit! But they don't do that shit no more. You get the benches clear out. Them niggas don't do shit now.
Yeah, nah.
They're buddies with each other. They don't want to fuck up their money. Back in the day, niggas used to run each other over just for the fuck of it.
Yeah, nah.
I feel like
And they was throw hands in the parking lot if anything got to it,
Son vainas de la vida, loco. Son cosas. La gente. Yeah.
How do we move forward though with baseball? And not to focus on the past. How do we just move forward, knowing that where we're at right now?
If we're talking about the current CBA stuff, I would say
you need a floor.
Don't put a cap, put a floor. And that's pretty much my only thing. As far as the revenue sharing and all that shit, bueno, eso que se lo averigüen ellos. Pero I think baseball needs a floor to be more interesting and to make more money.
I feel like they to incentivize owners or to spend more money. Like if you don't make the postseason, your shit is getting cut.
Or your shares are lower.
Yeah. Or también
if you make it, you get a bonus.
Baseball is not so much of a big thing with the drafts, but even the draft picks. Si tú estás in the bottom 2 teams or bottom 5, whatever, you have a 5% chance of getting top pick.
So like the NBA does it.
Yeah.
So because you can't. Yeah. You can't be the worst team and get the first pick. You literally have a lot of. You have a higher probability of getting the.
Should not be on the Pirates. I will say that until I go.
Being the last team does not guarantee you the. You have the higher percentage of getting the number 1 pick, but it does not guarantee you they're gonna get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I like that. Eso me gusta.
Porque así entonces se acabó la maldita. No, es que I'm still making money. No importa que hagan lo que ellos quieran.
Yeah,
just throwing an idea out there. Would you say get rid of a minor league team like single A or double A? Get rid of one of them instead of having 3.
You need it though. You need the levels.
The pipeline.
Yeah, you need because
baseball's
it's different, bro.
A small sport as it is in terms of Players.
What is Somerset Patriots? What are they?
Double A.
Double A.
Yeah.
Shut my hand. Then you go to Triple A. It's a total different monster.
I'm not gonna lie. I love having the Double A park nearby. Like I seen Carlos Lagrange pitch
yeah,
last
yeah.
year in Double A, and look at him now. Freaking came up and shit.
You know,
Do you guys think that like now with like a lot of these players like specifically coming out of college and all this other stuff, you see a lot of them like the ones that are like being hyped. For perfect example, Jason Dominguez.
That's international prospect though. That's
No,
not-
pero estoy diciendo.
what happened?
El tipo, he came up. He was the next big thing for you guys. Came up.
Nah,
struggled.
he was the next big thing for the league because he had a bonus so fat.
No, pero te estoy diciendo. He came up. He
Had a fat neck. That's what he had. He had a fat neck. That's what he had. You seen this nigga's neck?
Yeah.
Cool. Look at Brendan
Eso
Goldberg
go
with his
bad,
neck,
eso
bro.
go
Wow.
But not like just,
Hey, we don't judge.
Aaron Judge.
yeah. But nah, like now you're seeing a lot more of like these top prospects come into the league. They rush them into the league, and then they just fizzle out. And then next thing you know, you never hear from them again.
Spencer Jones is going to be one of them. Watch. Spencer Jones.
Like our second base, Campbell.
Yeah,
Did we sign him to a freaking deal? Now he's in the minors.
60 mil
Fuck it.
for 9 years. Even though I think that's a bargain,
Yeah, hopefully he makes it.
but it's like a lot of these prospects. I don't know if it's
I think for us is because we follow the American League a little bit more. But I don't know if that's the case for them sucky ass teams like the A's, like the White Sox.
Nah, the A's
Like-
got lucky with their fucking their
That dude-
infield
Yeah.
because you got
Oh, not 'cause they got lucky. They've sucked for so much they keep getting the top picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is.
They need to change that.
That's on the suerte, and that's why. Yeah, that's why I'm saying like change that.
but also they don't rush them to bring them up though.
¿Y pa qué?
Es verdad,
¿Pa qué?
Pero that's what I'm saying. Like
you didn't see his that old stadium, pero eso estaba cayendo a pedazos.
Yo, for real.
Eso estaba cayendo a pedazos.
No, but
Loco.
Y un bajo a miau. Y un bajo a miau que tenía esa
Nah,
vaina.
that's
loco.
true. Oh, si tú
Disgusting.
dijiste que no había 10,000 fans en algunos juegos, en ese juego que nosotros fuimos,
Menos.
que it was a fucking celebration of their 74 World Series
Yeah.
or 79, whatever.
Oye,
it
esa
was.
vaina.
pero quién va a ir
Loco,
para esa
no
miseria?
había ni 8,000 fans.
Ni mucho. Ni mucho.
And they said that was the most fans they had all season.
Ay, pa' allá.
Por eso. No,
Dime.
no, bueno. El cemento mojado, huelía. Un bajo que había.
Loco.
Dios mío, una de-
Pero-
Pero adivina, that owner's still making money.
Yeah.
He still had a profit every fucking year.
Yeah, it's
And
like
now
if you hit him, if you hit him in the
they're definitely
pockets,
gonna make more.
if you hit him in the pockets and like, hey, yo, you gotta bring a competitive team. You know, or otherwise you get docked. You're not getting the number one pick. You're not
getting profit
you're not
shares.
getting profit shares. Your shit's got in half.
Yeah.
You know, like vaina así porque
Incentivize spending on the
coño,
team.
porque
Outside of that,
It's only gonna help the league at the end of the day.
yeah,
Because if it's more competitive, everybody's gonna get a bigger share of the pie.
outside of that, do you think that MLB should kind of introduce like a new program morely for like players that are playing in high school, little league, and shit like that? Kind of like creating a program where they teach the players better fundamentals of playing baseball, because it goes back to like the what you were saying about like launch angles and all this other shit. It seems like that's what they're teaching the kids now, and they're moving away from actually learning how to play the game and how
I
to
think
do and how to go about like dealing with like different situations in a baseball game. Like you should know like where you're positioning yourself when there's a play. Like first baseman, if there's a play to right field, the first baseman should be, and there's somebody running home, should be like the cutoff man.
You want me to be honest? And you guys might not have much knowledge on this because realistically, you guys don't watch any little like younger kids in DR and shit. But honestly, ustedes saben que yo tengo familia que, deal with that over there, and I have.
Oye, espérate. Diablo, este tipo es una máquina. Espérate.
una cosa.
Habla.
Baby bop, boo, baby boo bop.
Pero Dios mío. Mijo, acuéstate, son las 1 de la mañana
Es verdad,
ya.
loco.
Acuéstate.
I'm working.
Hey,
yeah,
good
Lord.
working.
He's doing business
What the hell y'all
research.
talking about? I know that shit boring as hell without me.
Nah, si tú supieras, este va a ser el mejor episodio de Bomba'to.
Y'all just talking about straight sex. That's what.
Nah.
We started that way.
Started.
We started that way.
Nah, but we're talking about important matters right now. We're talking about baseball
Oh,
and the shit that's going on in the league and how we can fix it.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, coming from y'all.
How's your research going?
What happened?
How's your research going?
Man, it's going. I'm writing a paper. I'm writing a thesis paper right now.
Oye, que habladorazo. Hazte un thesis.
Thesis paper.
A thesis on what?
Huh?
What's your thesis topic?
Gotta wait till it comes out.
No, eso no funciona así.
Gotta wait till it comes out.
Tú ves que tú no estás en la escuela nada.
Óyelo.
It's life changing, man.
Shut your ass.
Don't get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Huh?
Don't get hit by a car.
Why not?
Why not?
How was the bogey?
Yeah, come back with. I'll come back with 10 AK cameras for you.
Oye.
Muchacho,
Honey,
te,
que
te van
cameras,
te van a parar en el aeropuerto, mi hijo. Te van a parar. Deja eso.
Bueno. All right.
Let me
sir.
continue with my topic, Angel. Goodbye.
What happened?
Go enjoy your business.
Pon some the honest can music, some shit like that.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Ah,
Ganges Khan or whatever.
Throat music.
Vete pa Portugal.
Yeah, that throat singing music. You love that throat.
What time is it over there?
7:30.
It's so.
Hasta las 12 son allá.
I'm 1:30 over here.
Yeah, go to sleep, boy.
This guy. Another way. All right. Bye.
Do the stanky leg before you go.
Nah, but back to what I was saying. Y'all don't watch a lot of like the younger kids playing baseball over there. Bro, that's all they're teaching. Because you gotta understand that for the Latin community, it's all about those fundamentals. When they come over here, I don't know what happens because I don't have the experience. I don't see,
They
what's
watch
happening
their
behind
brain.
the scenes in the single A and the
Because they got them
double A and all
coaches
good
that
stuff.
tell them that dingers bring you money.
Ajá, tú ves, yo no te sé decir exactamente, pero yo sé que allá, and I would love for y'all to like come out and see what I'm talking about firsthand, because you'll be like, damn, nah, they got it.
Invítanos,
Loco,
invítanos.
esos muchachos, yo hablo por el primo mío, que yo he visto la disciplina que él tiene con eso de la pelota. Bro, he wakes up, and this is in the summer, 7 a.m. he's up and at him. At 8, he's in the field doing workouts, running drills, all that shit, whatever. Comes back home, 11. Lunch. Ya a la 1:30, él tiene play otra vez. Hasta las 5 o las 6 de la tarde. Playing games, running drills, lifting, whatever. Every single day. Non-stop. Only stop is Sunday.
Nice.
Saturday, he be going to go play games.
God's
Sunday, the only stop is if there's no games.
El día de Dios, los domingos. Vale.
Loco.
What are your thoughts on that, Wilson? Since you played high school baseball and you're playing baseball now, like what?
El propeto.
The issue, I mean, the issue in the U.S. is the travel ball with the kids. Because with travel ball and everything, they don't focus on practicing like that. They just care about going to games. Going to games and worrying about how they're doing and looking good.
Yeah.
And looking good for the scouts. That's all they care about. But like when it comes to like other countries, it's like, yeah, you see the hunger in their eyes and their discipline.
Diablo, that's what it is. You just hit that shit.
Yeah, they're hungry for
It's
it.
the hunger.
The kids here, yes, they're hungry for it, but it's a different kind of hunger.
No, es que aquí no tanto hunger porque tú sabes que hay
Ellos
muchas opciones después.
Yeah,
If you don't make it,
exactly,
there's
yeah.
options.
Yeah, that's la vaina. Like over
Hay
here,
necesidad.
it's like, this is a hobby for me. This is
Yeah.
just
If
para
I make it, I
Oh.
make it.
yeah, para matar tiempo.
Oh, I'm done after college? Okay, I have my degree. I can go get a
Yeah.
job.
But over there,
it's
there's
not.
no,
That's
there's
the
no
only
Yeah.
way.
There's no
Either
option.
that or
Yeah.
you gangbanging and nobody's trying to gangbang.
Yeah.
A little bang here and gang there. No, never kill nobody.
But no, like just always being around a team and everything, a lot has to do with leadership. If you don't have that right person on the top leading whatever group it is, you're not gonna get those fundamentals, the freaking easy part of the game. You're not gonna get it because you're gonna be like, oh, I messed up. Okay, just whatever. All right,
Move on.
Nah, it'll be like, oh, you messed up. Hey, you can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to now with like people being all soft. You can't really yell at people. You can't really discipline people like the way not that the way before was like the better way, but like
That's why we got too many gays nowadays. That's why we got too many gays.
How we go back?
That's how we got too many gays because you can't take some criticism. He's like, he
Yeah.
yelled at me.
But the problem with that is that everybody can pull up a phone and just put you on social media and just bash you.
Yeah.
That's the
I
problem.
mean, that's messed up, bro. Like, you shouldn't be bashed for doing a good job and being
Or trying to
and
teach
trying to-
somebody the right
yeah,
way.
trying to teach somebody discipline and accountability.
Like, what's crazy is like a
responsibility.
It's not like the videos. Like my algorithm is all fucked up. It's all about like parenting shit and like dogs and all that shit.
Like, if you want to fist somebody, it don't matter. You should be able to fist
No,
them
but
as
like-
long as you want them.
Like you'll have a dad disciplining his kids. Wait, what?
He said, yeah, I looked at him and he looked away. He's not even trying to look this way.
Hey, acknowledge us, coñazo.
Okay. ¿Qué te pasa?
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but like you'll have a video of like a dad disciplining his kid and it's being recorded.
¿Qué pasó?
We cannot skip over.
Es que yo no dije nada. ¿Qué yo dije?
No, we gotta skip over that.
Yeah, literally.
We gotta skip over.
No.
Because if you acknowledge it, he's gonna keep going.
But yeah, no, like,
¿Qué yo dije? ¿Y qué fue lo que
Tú
yo
no has
dije?
dicho nada.
no, like,
Que voy se hable.
yeah, like you'll see a video of like a dad disciplining his
play
kid
like
and it's
monkey?
being recorded and everything.
inside like
You just gotta power through him, bro. Pause. And
Imagine though, like, if you like,
Una entrada
your hand
que
was
con
inside and you like playing like a Muppet, you know, like making it sound
Hey!
like a ventriloquist.
Hey,
You know? Like,
mira, estamos hablando de pelota.
yo también.
nah, but yeah, it's just different. It's just, you
It is
can't
different.
you
It is
can't
different.
because you can't do anything without being recorded and then having 1,000 opinions from other people that have nothing to do with the situation.
¿De qué estamos hablando?
De pelota todavía.
Oh, de pelota.
Yeah.
¿Todavía?
Yeah.
Okay. No, just checking.
Ay, Dios mío, papá.
La vida, cosas del pasado.
You were saying, Wilson?
No, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not an option for them. It's an option for them here. It's a necessity for us over there.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys watched a lot of oh my gosh, what's that podcast called? Abriendo el podcast, creo yo que es que se llaman.
No.
Los dos tigres dominicanos que hacen la entrevista a los peloteros.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's called Abriendo. Yo, if I love listening to those interviews of like the players that I like or that are intriguing if I see a clip. Cause bro, it's so interesting hearing the stories of how they made it to where they got. Like Junior Caminero. El papá de Camionero. Bueno, era. Porque ya tú sabes. Está
They made
retirado.
it on up.
La mamá se me olvidó lo que hacía. Él tenía que caminar para práctica todos los días. Y a veces le daban una bola. O a veces se iba en el camión con el papá.
That's another thing too.
Hubo una vez que él llamó a su mamá y le dijo, mami, voy a dejar la pelota. Y la mamá le dijo, mi hijo, piénsalo bien, que yo sé que tú estás frustrado, pero piensa en tu futuro. Y él le dijo, es verdad, mami, yo voy a seguir. And look at how he's come up. And not for nothing, he has changed a lot after he made it up. Because you guys know that a lot of times these Latin American players will get called up and they start doing all the flashy shit, que cadena, que video, que esto, que el otro, y se le olvida la parte más importante.
Play the game.
Play the game.
Yeah, and we're having this conversation and we're just touching the surface because we don't know what's underneath at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't know the actual process of what it takes to try to make it into the league.
Absolutely.
Got a bulk up.
If any baseball players watch our podcast and would love, minor league
Just
players,
any
major league
player.
players, any player, if y'all want to hop on in here, we would love to have y'all
That's-
have a discussion.
That's why I always say baseball is literally I would say between baseball and soccer are the two hardest sports to make it in.
But here's the thing. soccer por lo menos tiene muchas ligas diferentes.
Well, yeah. Pero,
Soccer tiene liga por pretty much every country has a league.
yeah.
You know?
But it's still hard to get
No,
into.
no, absolutely. But it's there's a lot more opportunity, is what I'm trying to say.
Because I think a soccer team has a smaller roster than a baseball team does.
Probably that would make sense.
Tener
But
como-
there's a lot more,
Leagues, yeah.
participating teams. You might not make it to, La Liga, but you can make it into your country.
MLS.
Or another, MLS.
Es que no es
And
fácil.
MLS is still pretty, pretty big.
No es fácil bajarse una paila de espagueti con pica pica y con 4 huevos todos los días. No es fácil. Oye, no es fácil.
Yo, nah, them videos of how
Con guineíto encima.
Logan Nutrición. Yo, the shit he be feeding them kids to bulk up is crazy.
Ay, bulking it up. That's
Loco.
crazy. That's
Di que
crazy.
una libra de
también.
espagueti.
Ahí se dañó el audio. Mentira.
Ey, dime, abusador.
Este miró para atrás, me asustó.
Una libra de espagueti con 3 pechugas de pollo
Ah,
y
huevo,
10
y de
guineitos
todo,
y 10
guineíto.
huevos. Di que para desayuno.
Claro.
Y bajarlo con un batido, un protein shake. Para desayuno.
Después
A las 10 de la mañana.
Ah,
Es un abuso.
su estómago de
Y,
hierro.
y después tienen que comer y tienen que cenar.
Imagine those
Es un
farts.
abuso, bro.
Imagine those
Is
farts.
it?
Imagine those farts.
What?
But how long are they on the field? They're burning all that shit out.
Yeah.
I understand, but like that's a lot. No matter which way you cut it, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's a lot,
That's
but
one meal.
it's a lot,
You gotta
but
think
three.
about it. You got to think about it.
And the
Like
sun.
Wilson
And
said,
they're in the sun.
You're out there
Yeah, no.
constantly moving, so
Absolutely.
you're gonna need.
y también para ponerse
I
fuerte.
would like to see.
Para ponerse fuerte también.
No, claro. I would like to see like
El doctor.
that would be cool if you can like go into their. Nah, never mind.
You know, there's one thing that kills me about athletes. Going back to what you were saying about this episode is about to be just sports. About Junior Caminero and just like how Latin players.
The spotlight.
Yeah, like the shit that kills me is when you have these athletes that have like the opportunity to, play a sport, as their job and make millions of dollars, and they fuck it all up because they get too full of themselves. And then they just, waste all those they waste all those years, going to practices, fucking struggling and doing all this other shit. And you get the opportunity and you're actually a good player and you have the opportunity to make millions of dollars and then
millions.
and then you fuck it up for
¿Cuál es
some
el
stupid shit.
asqueroso de los Angels that used to play for the Nats? Won the World Series with the Nats, their third baseman.
Oh, Rendon.
Rendón, ese asqueroso.
No, eso era el tipo era
Ese es
vago.
un asqueroso. No, eso no es el vago. Eso es una estafa. Eso es una estafa. Porque usted le vende un sueño a un equipo, a una fanaticada de que sí, que tú eres el tercer base del futuro de ellos, que tú firmaste por 10 años, 8 años, whatever, however long the contract was. And then you're going to sit there on your fucking ass. Oh, I don't really like baseball. What? Loco, what?
Smart dude.
Yeah.
Smart
he fleeced
Nah,
them.
that's
He
fucked
fleeced
up.
them
Smart dude.
because he
Karma's a
Another
they're
bitch.
gonna
thing.
still have to pay
Karma's
him.
a bitch.
Another
That's
thing,
fucked
don't
up.
make contracts guaranteed. At least not. At least not.
Good luck with that.
At least not. At least not.
Good luck with
At least
that.
not. At least not all of it.
Good luck with
At least
that.
not all of it.
I would say make it guaranteed with stipulations.
Yeah, like you gotta hit a certain amount of games.
Nah, you gotta play in a certain amount of games.
You gotta play in a certain amount
Like
of
at
games.
least 50 games.
But yeah,
That's too little.
No, pero está bien.
That's
porque-
too little.
Nah, you gotta play at least 100.
Play a certain percentage.
No, porque espérate, porque...
It's 162 games. You're taking 62 days off.
No, eso no. Porque si
¿Cómo
tú,
que no?
tienes, si tú tienes un injury.
No, I was,
doesn't
that don't
count
count. That don't
towards
count. That don't
You
count.
have to
Like,
have
if
to
you-
play a certain amount of games if you're healthy.
Yeah.
Pero espérate. That's another thing that we as fans don't really know about. I've heard a little bit about it based on, some interviews and some, I got baseball family. Apparently, the injured list, you can get thrown on there for
For anything.
anything. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say
And
with that
They
idea.
don't even have to be real.
You pop the pimple on your ass.
That's what I don't like that idea, because now you're putting the power into the organization's hands, and they could just be like, you better reach that stipulation.
Lo que hicieron Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mm-hmm. With
Yeah.
fucking Roddy Tellez.
Bro.
He was
Dude
about
was
to hit
about to hit his marker for the bonus,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, now you're cooked.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's the like.
That's fucked up.
They should
But
be,
that's
they
the
should, get,
shitty
should get a penalty.
organization.
They should get a penalty for that.
That's a shitty organization.
But then on the other hand, right, there was the game with the Yankees and CC Sabathia when he hit
Yeah, I remember that.
he hit the Sucro, the Rays catcher, for hitting
Romine.
Romine, because the Rays had hit Romine. And he was literally, his pitch count was like 50 or 60. La cuestión es he was going to hit the marker. He had to pitch one more inning. He hit him, and the Yankees still paid him afterwards. They didn't make that known. It was found out after some time, but eso...
It goes down to the organization and how you want to handle. If you want to be a shitty organization, players are going to be like, yo, I don't want to play for you.
Yeah,
That's fucked up, though.
they
You
suck.
cut a guy because he's about to hit his bonus. He's been playing great for you.
Didn't they sell the team or he's still the owner?
Nah, he's still the owner.
I know the Angels got bought out recently by a
In the
Hispanic.
process.
Oh, I thought they already bought him.
Nah, it's not official yet.
Keep it in the DL.
Ooh, now that you mentioned that brings me an idea. Because I had this idea when I was reading the article. Do you think that if more... how should I word this? If more minorities owned sports teams, the leagues would be more competitive.
That's tough. That's tough to say.
Yeah.
Especialmente
tough.
con los latinos y la pelota.
That's tough to say.
Yeah. You
At the end
can't.
of the day, everybody likes money.
Yeah.
So they're
That's
gonna
tough.
be.
And you're-
if you're in that position and you're getting millions of dollars for putting a shitty product out, what's the incentive for me to spend more money and still what? I'm gonna be making maybe a little bit more money, not much more,
Because you got to look
but
at
I'm
it like,
spending $100 million more on payroll.
because you got to look at it like this.
Why would I do that?
These owners buy these teams as a business opportunity.
Claro. Vamos
So
a comprar.
they got to make the money back.
Vamos a comprar uno.
Shit,
Vamos.
yo.
Vamos.
Vamos los Rockies.
Vamos.
No sirven para nada.
I got
Worth
like
like,
I got like $20 in my pocket right now.
pedimos un loan.
Compramos.
I got about 250.
We just got to know the right people.
People.
Hey, do we want to keep talking baseball?
Nah, ya está bueno.
All right.
Lo que tú quieras.
I have a question. This kind of goes back to what Angel was talking about yesterday about
Yesterday.
Last
was it
episode.
yesterday? No, yesterday.
Oh.
While we were
Like
in our
actual-
chat, yeah.
Okay.
When he was talking about his girl and his mom. and that kind of and the funny thing was that I was watching a video.
That's dirty, bro. That's
No,
dirty.
I'm not gonna
Down
get into
low
it.
right there. That's low.
But I saw a video.
even for you, that's low.
Yeah,
So low. And you're close to the floor, so that's really low.
What you mean by that? What you mean by close to the floor?
So, I'm just
This is a
saying.
short joke.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nah, but in
I'm not that totally.
there was a coincidence that I was watching a video that was talking about your best friend, your girlfriend not liking your best friend because they're a bad influence for you. So I was thinking, I was like, damn, that kind of coincides with each other. And I was like,
How long y'all been best friends for?
pretty much all your life.
Oh, espérate.
That's a long time right there.
Espérate.
And I was like, would you...
My life or your life?
Hmm?
My life or your life?
Your life, your best friend.
Oh, okay. No, preguntando porque tú sabes.
And let's say your girlfriend's like, yo, I don't want you to be friends with that person no more. Like for you, Wilson, your best friend is Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Rosie one day is like, Wilson, I don't think you should.
What's the reason? What's the reason?
They're a bad influence.
How long have you been friends with Jeremy for?
This is like we're 10.
Okay.
Exactly. So like, let's say she sees that like whenever you're around him, you act different.
Or maybe when you're around her, you act different.
Or that too.
Oh.
Or that too.
Puede ser el caso.
Wow.
And she's like, you know, I don't like how you act when he's around because you treat me differently. Like, would you stop being friends with him?
Now, let's say she finds you two kissing and shit like that.
Yo,
Why not say?
yo, tú viniste hoy a ser pájaro.
Why not say? Let's say
You
find-
came here to get be gay today. That's what happened.
He was listening to the Iceman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yes,
I wanted to see your face on that one.
oh yes. ¿Cuál fue la pregunta?
Johnny, shut the fuck up.
Ay, Dios mío.
Would you stop being friends with your best friend if your significant other tells you?
It depends the influence because, right, at the end of the day, you choose what you want to do, how you want to act, what you want to say, all that stuff. So it's like another person can only influence you so much.
I'll put it this way.
Now let's say you're
That's
sword
your boy,
fighting.
right? You've known him since you were 10. You're bound to act more childish with him because that's your boy.
That's 100%.
That's 100%, right? So let's say
100%. We say the gay shit to each other.
Espérate, no vamos a hacer que nada porque aquel
We smack- we
está disparado. Ey, no me digas nada.
We smack
vamos
each
a
other's
decir
cheeks,
que
not gonna lie.
Rosy a ti te dice.
I thought you were gonna like
porque
sword
tú eres
fighting
muy-
and shit.
Tú eres muy maduro cuando tú estás con él. Yo no quiero que tú andes con él.
Ay, ¿quién estaba primero?
Porque tú
¿Quién estaba primero?
Tú eres demasiado inmaduro cuando tú estás con él.
¿Quién estaba primero?
I
What you
thought,
do?
I swear to God, I thought you said que a ti se te pone madura when you were.
I did
I
too.
I swear to God, dog.
I'm like, what?
I swear to God, dog. I'm not even gonna-
Eres muy inmaduro.
Ah.
Look glad.
Look, no,
You are too immature with your
no.
Do it.
That's the case. That's the case right now.
That's what I'm saying.
When the first thing me and Jeremy do when we see each other, we moan.
Okay, so that's what I mean.
No, but like,
Que Rosy te diga a ti, you can't hang out with him because you just act a fool.
no, you can't. No. Now,
Ningún, no.
Nah, espérate.
No,
Let's take it to another level.
No, well,
Let's take it to another level.
No.
Let's take it to another level real quick, real simple, real smooth right now.
no.
Let's take it to another level right now. Let's go.
Estamos en el
Ready,
perfect
ready,
level.
ready. You ready?
No hay escalones.
Claro que
no
sí.
hay
Míralo
elevador.
ahí, míralo ahí,
No,
míralo ahí.
perdón. No hay elevador.
Míralo ahí. Claro que sí.
No hay
Claro que sí. Claro que sí.
Dale,
Claro que sí.
dale.
Claro que sí. ¿Qué estamos hablando? Me olvidó.
Gracias a Dios.
Oh, yeah. So let's say, right? Let's say she finds you too, and you guys two are sword fighting and shit, right? And like, what, like at that point,
why you gotta go here with it? Why you gotta go here?
like you know, like shit like that. Like, I don't want you to hang out with him because I find you guys were sword fighting in the bathroom, and I don't like that shit. Like you guys.
At that point, you
Yeah,
should.
no, fuck it. She found you in bed with your best friend.
El diablo.
Ya, porque si vamos a
see-
subirlo, vamos a subirlo para
You
el
see how the
techo.
gayness just cycles through?
Ya, vamos a subirlo para el techo.
See, this is
Te
why.
encontré
This
en
is
la cama con tu
why.
mejor amigo.
This is why we
Dime.
have. This is why we have a gay epidemic in our country. This is a very serious problem that we have in the country right now.
We're gonna get canceled.
You
We're
know,
gonna get
it's a very hard epidemic that we have right now. We have to fight it. We have to,
Epidemic is crazy.
you have to fucking fight it.
We're gonna get
We have to fight it. You can't. You gotta stay strong.
Make sure you have
You
the
gotta-
warning
you
of
gotta-
like the
you gotta-
jokes and shit in the middle right
You
here.
gotta,
this
you
point.
gotta, you gotta cleanse your butt cheeks. Make sure they're tight. You gotta wrap it around.
Ooh, now you say
know?
butt cheeks. I saw a black dude's dick today in the street.
Wow.
What?
Clanging and banging, son.
Yeah.
Clanging and
what?
banging.
Yeah, it was a homeless guy. It was a
In the
homeless.
city?
Yeah, all he had was a t-shirt, but he had no underwear on.
Ah, that don't count. That's a city.
I mean, I saw it.
I mean, you see rats with bigger dicks than people out there. You know, somebody.
not gonna lie, for a black dude, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. He might be a grower, not a shower. You know, he might be a grower, not a shower.
Yo.
He might be a
It was out there.
And on that note, everybody,
Oh,
this has been Bomba'to.
But y'all haven't even answered my question.
But
Y'all
tú
took
ves,
this
tú ves.
shit-
Pero tú ves.
Y'all took this shit left field.
what was your question?
Left field, the day that we playing baseball, they're playing football.
What are you talking about? What was your question?
I asked, would you stop being friends with your best friend if your significant other tells you to stop being
There
friends?
gotta be a very specific reason. Like a
said
very,
it.
like a
You're too
very.
immature.
You act different.
Nah, there's-
you act like if. All right.
There needs to
You
be,
act-
there
you
needs to
act
be-
diff-
The only way that would happen, and that I would say yes to that, is like she brings up a good point. Like
He's doing
let's say,
drugs.
Let's
He's
say,
doing
yeah,
drugs
he's doing
and-
drugs, and then I got arrested because of him.
Exactly. Like
I
there's
got
levels.
it.
Immaturity is here.
Yeah.
If anything, that holds everything together is the
Yeah.
immaturity. But now, if your best friend is taking advantage of you, you don't notice.
Yeah.
Your significant
Si
other
tú, le
brings it
prestas,
out.
si tú le prestas 10,000 y no te lo pagas.
Si cada rato is like, yo, I need your help with this, blah, 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 blah,
Y
blah.
te trae mujeres de todo tipo.
If he's putting you in a vulnerable spot,
Y ahí te lo voy a dejar.
if you're dumb enough or blind enough to not see that they're actually putting you in danger and it takes your significant other to tell you and open your eyes, then yes, I'll cut it off immediately. But over some stupid gay stuff,
Wait. What if it's your significant other doesn't like their significant other?
That's not I can do with that, baby girl. You gotta deal with that.
No.
No, we can. What, you
No.
want? You want me to tell my boy, yo, you can't be with that girl because my girl don't like her? No.
Because your girl sees that his girl's taking advantage of her.
Well, tú le puedes, like, you could
You can
like,
tell it, but you're gonna make it.
you can give him advice and yo, like, mira, yo, like this is happening.
Yo,
blah,
she's
blah,
a
blah,
hoe,
blah.
bro. Yo,
Like,
she's for the streets.
Cosa de la vida.
Your sheets are cleaner than her.
Hey, yo. Hey.
Did we talk about this discussion about if your significant other doesn't like your mother?
We were talking about it.
you started a conversation
Yeah.
like that.
You started.
No, I wanted to get to that too. What would you do in that situation?
Is that your case? I mean, I learned my lesson in life that
If your mother says,
it's for a reason, and later on I will find out why. Because she's always been right.
But if your significant other doesn't like your mother, what are you doing?
No,
in that
like,
situation?
okay. You got to define significant other. Like, what level are we doing here?
Your wife.
Woo! Woo!
no, wait.
You can't get to the wife level.
You can't get
Nah.
to the wife if you,
All right, your girlfriend,
Your serious girlfriend.
your girlfriend of 10 years.
No, espérate, no. Porque
Single, entonces.
That's levels. So like,
¿Cuántos años?
La novia de 2 años.
yeah, and then like they don't get along. I gotta see like why, you know. Then they be like the regular speech, like, esa no es mujer para ti. Yo no sé, como que esa muchacha no es buena, you know, and shit like that. We're like,
And then your
No,
girlfriend
but
tells
it's the other way around. We're talking about the other way around. Your
like,
girl
your
don't
girl
like
don't
your
like
mom.
your mom.
like, oh, yo la dejo ahí mismo. Like that's what do you mean? Because then you're gonna get to the.
But that's why
you're gonna
your
get
wife.
You're gonna get into the
Es que no puede llegar wife.
No, pero espérate, es que ese problema, mira, si tú dejas que eso pase, you're gonna get in this tug of war, right? Si tú dejas que your girl doesn't like your mom, so then what? You can't see your mom. You can't. She's gonna. You're gonna have to like only go see her in a certain days.
Or secret.
And,
Okay.
That's a lose-lose.
Let's take this up to another level.
You sure?
Vamos a
Cuidado.
Vamos a decir.
Sure?
You can't handle
You
that.
sure?
No.
Sure?
You
I'll
can't
take it
handle
over
that.
there.
You can't.
You want me to
Cállense.
take it? I'll take it over
You're
there.
married.
Dilo. Wow.
Your mom
That deep voice that you
throws a lot of snarky remarks towards your wife. Your mom doesn't like your wife. She's
Did
always
she tell me that before we got
No.
married or after?
She doesn't say anything.
No,
But every time she comes
Mom would-
over, she's always either criticizing or throwing those little subliminals
subtle jabs,
at your wife.
quickies.
And
What
I
you-
noticed.
And you notice. What you doing?
I'm talking to my mom and I'm asking, yo, ma, what's up?
Yeah, you know something I don't?
Yeah,
So what up?
we're going to talk about it.
Like, you can't.
Not with my girl in the room.
You can't say that because Dominican moms are not gonna keep it quiet, bro. They're gonna if they don't like her, they're gonna
They'll
tell,
let you know.
They'll
let you know.
Their face will show it. They'll let you know
They'll
one
let
way
you
or
know.
another that
They'll
you'll
let you
you know
know. You'll know.
you'll know you
I
know.
don't know.
How about you, Wilson?
I'm like halfway paying attention to this conversation. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Halfway. Something about like
Ya lo perdimos.
something about like your girl not liking your mom type shit.
He was more into that sword fighting shit, you know.
Tú ves, me da,
I was
me da cosa de que él es medio...
no, I was thinking about a way of making this conversation gay. Huh?
Yeah.
He was thinking about it.
I was.
Yeah,
I was too actually, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't
find the opening.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the opening.
too much females in the conversation.
Yeah, demasiado.
All right. Sorry. Do you want to go into your story, the one that you that
Who me? Well, I got a story.
Yeah.
What story is that?
Espérate. If you're homeboy, right? You get your homeboy, right? And
If you get your what?
your homeboy, right?
Okay.
Your friend, right? ¿Y qué? Tranquila.
Ya yo veo a dónde va a llegar esto.
Dale, man.
No, I'm not gonna ask that question.
Dale.
No,
Next
porque ya-
question. Next question.
No, dale.
Mírame los ojos.
Él está diciendo
Mírame los
next question.
ojos. Next question.
Está diciendo, llévate de...
Te estoy diciendo.
No,
Dale.
If you
no
find
de-
your homeboy smashing your mom,
I told you
you
not
still,
to go there.
do you still,
God.
will you still, will it still,
Mamá huevo.
will it still be your homeboy or what's up? Or what's going on here?
Yo le voy a dar con todo lo que yo encuentre en
¿Y
ese
por
cuarto.
qué? ¿Y por qué? What if your mom tells you to stop and get out of the room? Yo te dije que next question, ¿verdad?
You fucking
I'm still hitting him with everything that I can
Dije
find.
next question, but you didn't want to listen to me.
Son dos adultos.
Imagine.
Son dos adultos.
No, imagine after the.
Hey, yo, if I walk in the room and she's like, hey, vete, she's not gonna read. I'm good.
Nah, you's a goddamn.
So you telling me if you catch Jeremy
That's a
doing your mom doggy style,
hey, yo. He watches this shit every week.
that's good.
He watches shit every week.
I want to see him at the
Hey,
barbershop so
yo.
we can get a good laugh.
Hey, yo. I mean,
Yo, you're not gonna be able to look at him.
Lying.
I
You say you're not doing nothing.
Are you still gonna be the same? Are you still gonna be the homie? Are you still gonna be,
no, I look at my mom a different way. I'm not gonna lie.
Or imagine if,
Yo,
you walk up
into the room and your mom was with her legs behind her back. And
I look at my mom a different way.
worse.
Oh shit!
you
Yeah.
don't find out,
Yeah,
and
it's
let's
true.
say they bring him over for like you come home unannounced, and they're just sitting there, and you're like, "Yo, what you doing here?" And your mom be like,
mean-
"Oh, ese es novio mío."
I'm not catching a charge, bro. I'm not.
So you just fuck it.
Nah.
Sion papi.
Yeah, man.
I ain't come out of that nigga's balls. I'll tell you that.
Bésame la mano.
I ain't come out of his balls.
Coming what?
I ain't come out of his balls.
Diga, bésame la mano.
Nah.
Babe, mijo, vamos a jugar MLB the show. We can do co-op.
Nah.
I'm still not catching the charge. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So you just
Is
don't. So
that
you
still
just.
the homie though?
I mean, he's gonna be a homer.
Yo le dije.
You just gonna walk out the room
Le
after.
dije que next question. Yo le dije.
That was a good question.
Nah, bring it around. Bring it all around. Now your wife got to see my homeboy too? And she don't like him?
Son preguntas que hay que
Oh,
preguntar.
yeah. What would you do if that's the situation?
What?
So you found your
Damn.
homeboy smashing your mom, and now your girl don't like your homeboy no more, and she tells you to cut it off. What you doing?
I'll let her know, like, hey, he's smashing my mom.
He's my stepdad now. I can't
just cut it off.
disrespect
I
him.
can't cut it off like that. That's disrespectful. Why would I do that to him? That's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I look at my mom a
My
different way.
mom
Like, yo,
showed
how
me
can you do
manners.
this?
My mom showed me manners. She showed me be respectful to my elders.
Quiere café.
Yeah.
Oh my.
¿Quiere galletica con queso?
Quiero un juguito. Wait. Oh my
I
god.
need some hydration.
Ah, le estoy diciendo cosas de la vida.
All right.
So
You don't want to go into that story about the girl and her boyfriend taking.
Toda la misma vaina.
Ah, all right, then fuck
Toda
it.
la misma.
Dale con lo tuyo, man.
So, if a girl's going out with the guy and the guy gets a DUI and the girl stopped talking to the guy because he got a DUI.
She find out he got a DUI or like he got a DUI while they were talking?
He got a DUI. No. She found out he got a DUI.
Okay, in the past.
Yeah.
oh, in the past.
Well, yeah, but then
Not
he can't,
like
he
Kurt.
can't. But he can't drive for like
A few years.
yeah, like
Also, that was
No,
recently.
it's a year.
like 3
It's a
months.
year. Oh, 3
Oh,
months.
that was recently.
I know, so it was recent.
That was recent.
yeah. So
What was the question? What was the
So like
original
you're getting to know each other, right? And the girl finds out that the guy has a DUI, right?
Uh-huh.
And she stops talking to him because he got a DUI. And now like she found out like they were supposed to meet up, and now he tells her, "Oh, I can't drive. I can't drive for like 80 days, whatever."
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think so.
Yo creo que eso suena como una excusa que
no le
no le
gustaba.
gustó.
No
No le
le
gustó.
No le
And she
gustó.
found it out.
Yeah, she
No,
found it out.
I mean-
I feel the same way.
I mean, sure, but like,
If you don't like him, you don't like him.
but like, no.
If
They-
his
they
breath
were-
stinks, let him know his breath stinks.
They were starting to talk. They were getting to know each other, and she found that out, and she didn't like that.
A DUI,
Yeah, but-
espérate. A DUI means you was doing some crazy shit on the road.
No, you're probably just drunk and you got caught.
Yeah, like how drunk?
Crazy
Like how
shit on
drunk?
the road because you was
like
drunk.
how
So
drunk
you
is
gotta
drunk?
have been sloppy drunk to where you couldn't drive a vehicle.
I mean, how drunk is drunk? Because I mean, you can get a DUI from a couple, a few drinks.
No, espérate.
You don't put you with the
No,
limit.
because for you to get stopped, pulled over for having a couple of drinks, you gotta be swerving. A couple of drinks don't make you swerve.
People are lightweight.
At the end of the day, he got a DUI.
Yeah, he got DUI and then they.
I don't think there's nothing wrong. They were trying to they were meeting each other, talking. You know, it's a starting. Now, if it was like 5 years in, and he got a DUI and she left him, it's like,
Okay, yeah, that's fucked up.
But like they don't know each other.
Una pregunta para usted.
I feel like she just wanted an out. She didn't like the guy that much.
I mean, she wanted out. She got the perfect out. She got the perfect
did,
out.
right?
If
As long as she's afraid of commitment.
it's illegal to drink and drive, why do bars have parking lots?
Tú ves, esas son preguntas del universo que necesitan respuesta. Pregunta profunda.
Esa es una pregunta.
Well, does this
Tú
bar
sabes
sell
más-
food?
Maybe.
Because how does the bar know that you come in to drink and not just have food?
Oof, good point.
No, but they got food.
Good point. Because you can go to a
How does the bar know you're coming to the bar just to get fucked up and not just have one drink?
Yeah.
Because you
It's
can
your
drive with
choice.
one drink. You can drive with 2 drinks.
Three
Depending-
drinks.
3, depending on how big you are.
4 drinks.
Una pregunta.
5 drinks.
Like, it's not the bar's responsibility
drinks.
¿Qué
to...
pasaste?
7 drinks.
No.
La botella entera.
8 drinks.
Like, is that a thing? Is an establishment responsible if you cause an accident?
No.
No, but they are responsible for how much liquor they serve you.
Yeah, they could literally just cut you off if they see that you're like
Too
beyond
drunk.
They can
intoxicated.
lose their license if they overserve.
Yo, let's buy a liquor license. Man.
You know how expensive
gotta-
that shit is,
We
and how hard it is to
I
get.
know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
La verdad, yo también.
Ah, pues vámonos. Bomba'to liquor
Tenemos
store.
que- Hey.
You got 200?
No, liquor store no, barra.
Barra.
You got 200?
Nah, I don't like
Bar
bars.
and grill.
You don't like bars?
Nah, too many
No,
conflicts.
no. See,
A lot
that's
of
the
money.
perfect idea, dog. We don't need to deal with
I mean, you're right. You can sell a shot for like $20. You're right.
You don't. No,
You're right.
You don't even. Oh, I got the perfect. Yeah, we got to talk about it off camera.
Okay.
I don't want to steal my idea.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to discuss?
You can't. We only been an hour deep. Is it?
No.
Hour 40.
Papi.
Really?
No, yeah.
¿Y cuándo?
Desde que you started talking about
Desde
gay
que
shit.
empezamos-
Pero ya vámonos, señores y señores. Ha sido un buen placer estar con todos ustedes.
No, ellos están con nosotros.
¿Es qué?
No nosotros estar con ellos están con
Eh,
nosotros. Nosotros somos the catch.
Si nos ven, salúdenos. Si no nos ven, también. ¿Qué más?
Fuing, fuang.
Fuing. Se me olvidó.
Mm.
¿Qué más? We got no more topics? Anything else? Any week wrap-ups? How was your week? Everybody's week?
Hablamos de eso ya, chulo.
No, pero tú no dijiste, ni Wilson tampoco.
Dale, vos.
No importa. Anyways, too late now. Too late. Señores, this has been episode 58 of your favorite podcast, Bomba'to Podcast. If you like this content, please like, comment, share, subscribe, dale topa. Si le te gustó, si no te gustó, dale para arriba, dale para
It's
abajo.
a
Dale.
Drake summer.
It is not a Drake summer.
Hey,
The dude is gay.
It's a Drake
Gay
summer.
isn't happy. Gay
It's a
isn't
Drake
happy.
summer.
Gay isn't happy. Gay isn't happy.
Before you get a lawsuit,
Gay isn't happy, all right? Gay isn't happy. He did
Because, you know,
blackface.
he's a sensitive
Yeah,
fella.
he did
It's a
blackface.
Drake summer in
He did.
2026.
He did the
Huh?
black.
What? No.
He did the blackface. Blackface was not a thing. He was first to do that. Imagine if Drake did the blackface while being in the KKK. That'd be crazy,
Stop,
yo.
bro,
That'd be
stop.
crazy, son. Imagine that shit. And they take the hood off and they got a blackface.
Locotrón, ya está bueno. ¡Wow!
¿Tú te imaginas, loco?
Locotrón, está. ¡Wow! Nos van a demandar por ustedes estar de payaso.
Anyway,
Reach me,
people.
baby.
Que tengan buena noche, buen día.
Buenas tardes.
And if we don't see you next week, have a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened next week?
I don't know.
Oh.
¿Qué?
Yo no sé.
Tú dices que estás busy, ahora tú ni quieres grabar ya, eh. ¿Qué es lo que te pasa a ti? Dios mío.
Ay, ¿qué es lo que te pasa a ti?
We used to record for 3-4 hours. What happened? ¿Qué nos pasó?
5 horas.
¿Qué nos pasó a nosotros, eh?
Tú tienes hambre, yo tengo hambre. Elvis.
What we need to go to the park again, bro. We haven't gone in, what, a month?
Yeah, my arm healed up and everything. We're good back now. Almost needed Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
That shit hurt. We're
It
good.
was
though.
that slurve, huh?
Yeah, that shit. We're good. We're back to normal now. Señores y señores, thank you for watching, listening, putting up with our bullshit. Si a ustedes les gustó el contenido, denle like, comment, share, subscribe. Déjanos que lo guaca no le gustó, si le gustó. If you like Angel being on the podcast, if you don't like him being on the podcast, what
Let us
happened?
know.
Let us know. You know, if you like his phone call, you want him through, via phone now, better. Whatever you like, We take credit, what is
This is
that?
the longest outro you've ever done, my guy.
Claro, hay que hacerlo long or you gotta extend it. What is that? We do like constructive criticism here.
Do we really?
No, we really don't. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, this has been Bomba'to Podcast. This has been episode 58. Yeah. I don't like it. This has been Bomba'to.
Oh, my God.
Vamos, la idea.